It is said the adventure is in the journey, not necessarily the destination. But when that adventure takes you through rocks, sand, valleys, and to the highest peaks, you need something tough, something reliable, something comfortable. This is our new Lifestyle Reconn R4T SE. Well guys, it is finally here and I'm so excited to finally be able to release this van on the channel after almost 2 years of waiting and planning to travel around Australia for full-time travel for a period of 12 months. This is our brand new but very dirty 2022 Lifestyle Reconn R4T SE. This van is 100% designed and manufactured in Australia, specifically Brisbane, and has everything we could possibly want and need for a tiny home on wheels. Now, what I'm going to do today is show you around the van, just some of the key features. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. I'm going to do independent videos, which are going to go into everything on this van. But today, let me show you around. Starting up the front, guys, and we have a hot dip galvanized chassis all the way through, with this front A-frame here being coated in this stone protection. Mounted to the front of that, we have the industry standard and market-leading Cruisemaster DO35 off-road articulating hitch, along with all your standard appliances, heavy-duty arc jockey wheel, handbrake and drawbar tap. Now moving down the side of the van, we have rock sliders on all of the exposed edges of the van, but more importantly, the suspension. Being a tandem model, we have 4 sets of the Cruisemaster ATX airbag suspension paired up with their remote reservoir shock absorbers. Now I think it's fair to assume that it's obviously a pop-top van, so let's open up the roof and I'll show you around. We have to undo these 4 clips, one on each side, and we'll come back around. So once we've undone those 4 securing clips, we come around to the front storage compartment here and we press the electric actuating roof button. That's going to lift the roof up on this pop top in 90 seconds, and that means the van is ready to go. Now the advantage of having a pop top means that the travel height is not only smaller and more aerodynamic behind the tow vehicle, but it just means it's easier to navigate off-road tracks and overhanging branches. With the air conditioning unit on top of the roof of this van, we're only about 10 centimeters higher than the roof of a Land Cruiser, which is perfect. And the width of this van is only 2.25 meters wide, which means that we're only about 3 centimeters wider on each side than the Land Cruiser 200 series. So now that the roof is up, let me show you around inside. So stepping up into the van, and as you can see, we have quite a lot of room for such a small hybrid. I'm 6 foot tall and I still have plenty of space above my head. Now, coming in for the door, which is at the front end of the van, we have a Thetford upright compressor fridge freezer here by the door. Next to that, we have a combined toilet and shower ensuite. We have a bit of bench space here on the right hand side with a sink as well, and bunk beds on the opposing edge. The lower bunk bed does convert into a dinette table, and the upper bunk bed here can be pushed up on hydraulic struts out of the way when we're using that table. So flicking that camera around, and now you're facing towards the rear of the van, and you can see that we have a full-size queen inner sprung mattress here up high at the back of the van. This is very comfortable on the road, and because we have that little bit of extra width either side, we have these storage areas down the sides where things can be stored whether the van is packed or up like it is at the moment. In addition to that, we have dual USB and cigarette ports at either corner of the bed, and you can see we have 6 roof mounted lights, which makes this area very bright, even though we have chosen some darker furnishings and bedding. We've also opted for 2 Sirocco fans, and they can face either the bunk beds here behind me or face us onto the queen size mattress. Now, the reason the queen bed is so high up inside the van is because on either side underneath it we have these massive storage compartments. We have these huge gull wing style doors which open up outwards and provide not only a little bit of shelter, but this one here provides a huge amount of storage. Now, it might not look like much, but this space here has provided ample room to carry everything that we need for a family of 4 for full-time travel around Australia for 12 months. Now, we've been on the road for 2 weeks already and we haven't come across anything that we desperately need, and there's definitely a few things in here that we could offload if we really need to. Now, this area also provides a bit of a service area for the van as well. Behind this rear wall here, we have the majority of our electrical components, and that includes things like all the fuses, circuit breakers, inverters, and chargers. Underneath these false floor lift ups here, we have 2 200 amp hour lithium batteries, providing the van with plenty of power. In addition to that, we also have 4 water tanks, 270 litres of general water and a 50 litre dedicated drinking water tank with a combined total of 320 litres. Now, we can use that and store that in our grey water tank, which is down at the front of the van. But the advantage of the water tanks being up inside this compartment here is they're no longer stored underneath the van, exposed to the elements and rock damage while we're on the road. So moving on to the near side of the van, or the passenger side or the working side of the van, we have this storage compartment here, which again leads underneath that high queen size bed on the inside. And I dare say that this here is probably the reason that most people buy this particular type of van, and it was a big selling point for us. Opening up this huge canopy door, and we have the kitchen. This kitchen here is recessed and fixed into the side of the van, which means that it's very easy to access whether you're stopping on the road for 5 minutes or pulling up the camp for 5 days. Behind these sliding doors here, we have our pantry, which holds the majority of our food when we're off grid. And we have a third hatch down the end here, which holds most of our appliances. Now, we have a large bench space on the left-hand side, the induction cooktop here in the center, and a large sink on the right with controls for our lighting and water pumps here as well. In addition to that, we have the ability to see our battery power management system, how much solar is coming in, and the level of our water tanks, along with a few other bits of information. So as you guys could probably imagine, I've only just scratched the surface for the features that this van has. And rather than release a huge video, I'm going to break it down into 3 smaller videos coming in the future for the interior and kitchen, the exterior and the hardware we're running, and also the off-grid capabilities in terms of the power management and water management systems. So if you have any ideas or anything you want to know specifically about this van, make sure to drop them in the comment section below as I start to work on these episodes. So Tegan and I and the kids have been living out of this van now for 2 weeks, and we are incredibly happy with its performance and functionality. If you think this van is too small to live out of, then you might be wrong. We have all the gear we need plus a lot more, but one of the biggest advantages of a van like this is it has a true 1-ton loading capacity. So we've got things in here that you probably don't need. We've got a Weber barbecue, we've got Starlink internet, we've got a chainsaw, and we've even brought the Thermomix. So there's a lot going on in here, which we'll get onto in detail in future videos. But we also have taken this van over a weighbridge, and it's not a light van. So we'll definitely go into detail about how much it weighs, how much we've put into it, the tow ball weights, and all of that sort of thing, again, in a future video. This Lifestyle Reconn is truly built for off-grid living. It is designed to be out in the bush, spending weeks and weeks away from civilization, and so far it's performed very well at doing that for us as we've traveled across the Nullarbor into the eastern states. We are so happy to be able to finally release this video and the van to you guys, and I can't wait to show you our travels as we travel around this massive country, and perhaps show you that sometimes bigger is not always better. We'll see you next time on Exploring Oz.